have a good Christmas and all that stuff. Stay safe out there.
Thank
And
you.
we'll,
You too. Do you want to see my fun pig mug?
oh, please. Oh, is that what you've been drinking from? Oh, I'm glad we got
Yeah.
that on camera before we wrapped up. I'll definitely throw it in the pig mug. That's awesome. Hey guys, James Wilson Taylor here for Rock Sound. It's the latest of our video calls. We are chatting with everybody while we're all at home at the minute. I am delighted to say from PVRIS Lynn Gunn's on the phone. How are you, Lynn?
Woohoo! Hello. I'm good. How are you?
You're a one-woman party right there, kicking it off in isolation. Here we are.
What isolation does, you just become your own party and you never need to see anybody ever again.
Solid advice. That's how we should all be surviving this, right? And I'll start this off in the way we've started them all off in the kind of same way, which is say, I hope your loved ones, you've all been staying as safe and as well as you can through all this utter madness. Before we get on to the kind of music and stuff, how has this period been for you? Probably the longest time you've had at home in a while, I would imagine. How have you been occupying your time?
Yeah, I mean, this has been the longest time we've been in one place pretty much for the most part and at home, and maybe aside from last year making the album, but that felt shorter. I feel like this has been longer at this point, but it's been good. I have some days where I definitely have I think the typical existential crisis about it all, and I think I'm not alone in that.
I think you're definitely not alone in that. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I'll have that every other day and be like, what's going on? And then I get comforted by the fact that everybody else is kind of in the same boat. And then I feel very fortunate to be safe and have my family safe. So I'm gotta keep it in perspective and be like, we're good. This is
a good situation to be in.
Yeah,
no, that's positive, man. That's good to hear. I'm glad you guys are doing okay. And, let's congratulate you as well. Just announced only a couple of days ago, really, you're in the Rock Sound Awards class of 2020. We're always excited to have you on the cover. It's great to see you back there. Really, really nice. What was it like doing that particular photo shoot? I love seeing what the guys have put together because it's over FaceTime. It's remote, a unique experience.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was very cozy too. I had road tripped back to Massachusetts. So I went from the West Coast to the East Coast to go vote because it was right around the election. And I didn't get my absentee ballot in time. So I was like, I'm going to just drive to Massachusetts and go do it. And so I was at my parents' house for the shoot to give it a context. And yeah, my mom was shooting it for
oh, bless. That's lovely.
So Mama G was the assistant and she did a great job. It was really funny. She's just a typical mom. So whenever they'd ask her to can you move it over this way? She'd be like, what? Just really no filter, I guess. I don't know.
Hey, it came out great though. It came out great in the end, man. Shout out to your mom for helping that one. That's very, very cool. Yeah. Like that a lot.
Teamwork.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, it's funny, isn't it? It's been in a lot of ways for everyone a very, very strange year and a very, very different year, but you did still manage to put out this record that I know you've been building to for a long time, and it had this great reception from fans. Obviously a big step for you as an artist in so many ways. Now that we are a few months in the kind of rear view from it, how are you reflecting about the release, I guess, in particular? Because again, a unique situation to be in and putting out a record in that way.
Totally. I think I just started reflecting and I'm catching up to it now. And I don't know. It's weird not having a physical experience to celebrate a release. And now I'm really feeling that because I think, I don't know, I was listening to the album the other day. I was just I haven't listened to it since it came out. And I checked it out and was like, this thing slaps. I really wish we could play it live and play it in front of human beings. But it's okay. At the same time, I think that it is such a weird transition and it was such a weird release and so much crazy stuff has happened that it feels okay that it released within an also crazy context. Right. So it's good. It's okay, we have a transition period out of the way, in a way, I guess. So now it's just moving forward and moving on. And
Yeah, no, it's
and I'm just glad it could be released still during a time when I think we need anything right now. We need any type of entertainment or distraction or um, music or something to connect with. So I'm glad it came out for that purpose as well too.
Yeah, was that something that was important to you? Because I know I've had so many of these conversations over the months, and I understand completely that every artist is in such a different situation. Some people have been
Yeah.
able to manage it, some people haven't. It's all just kind of up in the air. Was that something that was important to you, though, to make sure, yeah, it has to come out this year? Let's give the people, like you say, a distraction, if nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, we delayed it, I think 2 or 3 times at this. I forget how many times it got delayed.
It was a
But
couple. It was a couple.
with the initial, when we first had to postpone it, it was right when the pandemic started. And we had, my manager and I were kind of like not butting heads, but we were kind of going back and forth with our label about it. Just like, no, we should just put it out and we can keep working on new music and then put other stuff out once the pandemic lifts. But like, let's just do it. It's a time where everyone's at home, everybody needs something to do and something to listen to. And so we were all for it, and I was like, I'm gonna go rogue and we're gonna leak songs, but it didn't. I couldn't do it.
Just couldn't hit the button in the end. That's fair. That's a sensible move.
I wasn't able to hit the button, but we tried.
Hey, that's all right. We got there in the end. We got the music out there. And like you say, I'll come on to kind of more newer stuff in a bit, but you did manage to get out, I mean, the deluxe edition, you got the track with Raye and stuff like that. Like, that's really cool to be able to keep churning out new things in that gap as well. When did that particular track actually come together? Was that written this year, or did you add little bits here and there? How did it work?
So the track with Raye was, and the 070 Shake feature, those came together during quarantine after we had postponed the album. So it was kind of a blessing because we really wanted to find awesome features, or a couple awesome features on the album, and we just never could align with the right thing. And 070 Shake was like one of my biggest ones, and Raye was a pretty big one too. And we wrote Thank You back in January before the pandemic. And actually, I remember going into that session, the producer I was working with, his name's Mag, was like, have you heard of this coronavirus? And I was like, what is this? And just had no idea. And he kind of caught me up on it. And I was like, oh shit, we're like about to go to Europe. And it was right before we did our tour over there. And so it was kind of interesting that we wrote it before the pandemic, and then everything was done at that point and the album was ready to go. So we were just thinking of it as being a future song, and then once we had more time and we kind of plan it better, we then we're like, let's put on the deluxe. And during quarantine, we'd like sent it out to a couple people to see if they wanted to sing on it and who sounded right for it, and we sent it to Raye, and her part was just magical, and she crushed it. So we were super stoked.
It works really well, man. No, I'm glad you guys had the time to get that out there this year, because again,
Yeah,
just really nice and complements the rest of the record really well, I think, as well. It's very cool.
Definitely.
And speaking of collabs and features and stuff, I guess I should mention as well the other unexpected collab that might have even been unexpected to you, popping up on one of Machine Gun Kelly's little lockdown things, which I thought worked so well, that sample. I remember we did one of these with him actually a few months back, and he was talking about why he specifically wanted to use that vocal and everything, and how it worked well for what he wanted to do. When did you hear about that, and what did you make of the track, I guess?
It's a funny story. So he had sent it to us like 5 or 6 years ago when we were on work tour. And I think something got lost in translation with our manager or something. But I remember hearing it and being like, oh, I wish we could re-record the sample part, and like, I'm down for him to put it out. And something got lost in translation to his team, and like, it just never came out. And I thought he like hated us or something. And then he put it out, and I was like, oh, okay, we're good, I guess. Like, it was pretty funny. But yeah, I had suddenly started getting tagged in a bunch of comments, and I was like, what's going on here? And then I listened to it, and I was like, that came out this year.
5 years in the making. I love it. And you were friends after all. What a nice thing that
I shot him a message. I was like, hey, I don't really remember what happened, but I'm sorry about like it not coming out when it did. but seems like it was the right time now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, it fit really, really well. And again, one more collab I'll mention before we talk about other stuff, because again, we spoke with her a few weeks back. I noticed a few little sneaky little Instagram shots. Been doing some writing with lights, have you? Is that what's been going on? Having a few little sneaky writing sessions. What can you tell me about that?
So there was a day in the summertime. She had like a trip out here, and so we just had a day where we wrote together and did some jamming. And her production's awesome, and she really likes my production. So we've been sending tracks back and forth just for no certain intention, but we have one song that I think we're probably gonna hopefully collaborate on, or do a full collaboration and full release on. But it's really cool. We're almost to the finish line with it.
Very exciting. Very exciting. Is that going to be a PVRIS project or a Lights project, do you think?
I don't know. I think it might be a PVRIS X Lights or Lights X PVRIS.
We like that. We like that. That's very cool.
Equal collab and release. So we're trying to find a couple other people to get on it as well. So it might be like a whole.
Oh wow, big gang vocals going on.
Yeah, it might be a big crazy like mayhem moment.
Wow, very, very cool. Well, that'd be interesting to see. Fingers crossed we get to see that soon. That'd be awesome. In terms of other stuff with the band as well, you know, something we've been talking about loads of people through the year is finding ways to connect with the fans when you're at a distance. You know, you normally would have been doing loads of touring with this album by this point. Obviously, that's been curtailed. What was quite cool, I like that you're doing these live streams looking at the old stuff, man. That's really, really exciting. I know the White Noise one's already gone out. How has that experience been for you, revisiting those old songs after all these? Because I imagine there must be some songs in there that you haven't played live for years. Were there any that you never played live?
There was a couple we hadn't played since our first headliner, which has been years now. So there's a lot of songs we had to kind of refresh on and relearn. And obviously we're down a person live now, so we had to kind of rearrange like the musical direction of it and figure out who is playing what and where and how to arrange it differently. So that was so it was kind of like relearning a lot of songs. There's some songs I don't usually play guitar on that I was playing, and some with piano. So it was fun as well because of that. It just gave them like a new feeling and a new energy. And then we'd never played Empty live, so I played that on piano. It was very fun. I'm trying to think of anything else. Yeah, there was just a couple that we hadn't played in a long time that we had to relearn and refresh on.
Was there anything like, because I remember, I think it was I think it was Shane from Silverstein. That was it, because he did his live stream stuff again, doing loads of old things, and he told me he had to actually like refresh on lyrics, like go on fan sites and try and work out his own lyrics. Yeah, did you have similar things anywhere?
Yeah, I had to do that for 2 or 3 songs, and it was just like the second verse or the bridge I'd forgotten. And it's really funny seeing what the internet makes your lyric or turns your lyrics into.
Never quite the same thing you had in mind.
No, right? And I'm like, is it like this for everybody, or is it just our band? Because everything always gets lost in communication for us. So I'm curious if it's that as well. But yeah, some of the lyrics I was like, I don't think that's what I wrote.
Hey, if you sing it, it's accurate. So whatever you sing, that's canon.
If I mumble it enough, no one will know.
That's a good trick. There you go. Aspiring singers. There's the trick from Lynn right there.
Well, usually if that happens live, I can just hold the mic out and everybody will be like, you got it.
This is just
okay.
Now it's just one cameraman shouting it back. It's not quite the same, is it? Yeah, not the same vibe. Next year, we'll see. The other thing I wanted to mention, you know, when because last time we chatted was when you're over in the UK, actually, which unbelievably was still this year. Feels like a million years ago, that tour, but yeah. 2020, man, absolutely crazy. But you were saying at that time that you already had songs in the locker you were really excited post Use Me to put out. Obviously, we've already talked about some of the little bits in there.
We're gonna try to put more music out very shortly after the album's out, because there are quite a few songs that I think I wanted to push onto the album, but I'm now seeing like maybe there's going to be a different setting for them where it'll be better. But there's one called Madonna and there's one called Blood on My Hands that I'm really really stood out.
But the Madonna song that you put out there that was just on Instagram at some point, I think maybe that'll play a little snippet for people and like a couple ones like that. What's the kind of status of songs like that? Do you feel like they'll be coming soon, or are you saving that for a little later?
We have a whole folder of the next release, however it's going to be released. And we're just kind of like touching up on the production and finding the right people to finish them. So for like, there's a song called Madonna, Blood in My Hands. Those are the ones I'd been playing on the live streams. Those I need to dive into the production better and also just find a person to help finish it and bring it to where it needs to be. So it's hard to do that, obviously in a pandemic. So I probably gotta wait or just take the reins on it fully and dive in and
fair play. Do you think it'll be, I mean, standalone singles, or are you thinking it was quite nice seeing you guys do that for the first time where you had the EP preceding the album as well, just give people a little taster. How do you feel about how you might end up releasing new music moving forward?
I personally, this is all without the, I think, not limitations, but the circumstances of having a label and having to kind of follow along with making everybody happy. I personally would love to do multiple EPs and just somehow make them connect and have a whole plan with it. But we'll see. That's what I'm hoping for. Some kind of combination of standalone singles and then EPs kind of combined.
Fingers crossed, man. That's exciting to hear that's the kind of plan. I definitely want to hear some more new music because Use Me worked so well this year. And on that note as well, we know you've been writing with Lights and we know you had these songs in the locker. How has your creative process other than that been through this year? I've spoken to some people where they've been churning out music and it's been super easy. Spoken to other people where it's actually been a real struggle in this kind of environment and weird time. How have you found that actual process working solely from home, I suppose?
Yeah, it's been fun. You can work virtually pretty much. And there's ways to do it if you have the proper setup on both ends. So I've been doing some Zoom sessions, but it's really just not the same as going in and ripping on some instruments and vibing out in a room with somebody. So I've been doing a lot of just kind of solo work alone and been doing a lot of remixes and production ends of things for separate projects. So that's been really fun, and it's been a fun creative muscle to be strengthening and working on, because then I can apply that to PVRIS stuff as well. So I've kind of been doing that and felt really inspired on that end, and I think it's helping translate into PVRIS stuff. So this next month I have completely blocked off and I'm just gonna zone in.
Man, very, very exciting. I want to ask you about that as well before I let you go, because one of the standout moments I think on Use Me is Gimme a Minute. I think it's just an absolutely brilliant single up there with some of your best stuff. And I think one of the reasons it works so well is because it feels like the song on that record that both marries both ends of PVRIS in a way. Do you know what I mean? It's got big electronic production that's kind of prime for remixing in a lot of ways. And then a proper heavy ass riff to finish as well. It's really, really cool. I just wondered a little bit about writing that particular song. How did Gimme a Minute come together, and when was it in the process of creating Use Me?
That was towards the end of like the writing spurt. So there is pretty much a whole year of writing, and then I want to say 6 months or so of tracking and finalizing production with JT. And that period was like flying to Nashville for a week, flying home, being home for however long, flying back to Nashville, and like working in spurts. And so the Gimme a Minute was kind of within both of those processes, I guess, but it was towards the end of the writing portion, and I'm trying to think who was in the room with me, and who was this guy, Nate Campany, Tommy English, JT, and myself, and we just kind of went crazy. We had a bunch of coffee, and I don't know, we kind of lost our minds.
Hey, the sound of using your mind worked, man. That is a good standout moment right there. That's good. I mean, that's one you've got to be dying to play live as well, because that's going to be one of the bigger ones off the new record, right?
Yeah, that's one I'm really excited to play. And there's so many fun things on that production as well. Like the boom at the beginning is actually a guitar.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
That's
there's a
cool.
really weird pedal. I think it's called the vibe pedal or something. It's literally to create a vibe and just a unique sound. But that's how the song had started. Tommy brought that pedal in and like played a little like boom. And we were like, wait, do that again. We're gonna loop it and we'll make the chord progression. And it just kind of spiraled from there pretty much. But that's like a guitar. We tracked with pencils for the drums in the verse.
Wow.
Just cranked the gain up on a compressor, and like, I don't know, there's a lot of really fun little secrets with the production as well.
But it is always so great to talk to you. All the best to you, all the best to your loved ones. Stay safe out there, and we just look forward to seeing you in the UK whenever that is allowed for big live shows. Man, fingers crossed for 2021. But in the meantime, stay safe, and we'll chat to you soon. All right.
Of course, you too.
All right, Lynn Gunn, everybody.